What's going on, you guys? So I wanted to do a video on this forum topic that I saw. It's actually really interesting, and it comes out as PDS, Paradox Development Studio, Grand Strategy Games on iOS and Android OS. Justin96 wrote, it would be very cool if Paradox Development Studios could develop some grand strategy titles for mobile platforms such as iPad, iPhone, and other tablets and smartphones. I understand that games for mobile operating systems will have to have a large portion of gameplay features removed to make them playable, making them less in-depth than PC titles like EU4 or Crusader Kings 2, but I think Paradox Development Studio can develop a mobile game that at least feels somewhat like its PC titles. Now, honestly, as you can see, there's 24 people that disagree and 12 people that agree with his post here. I'm one of the people that would respectfully disagree, and the reason I think that is because you can take all those. I mean, there's a lot of options, there's a lot of buttons on an EU4 or Crusader Kings 2, screen. But what you would do is kind of, I don't want to use the word bury it, but kind of place it in another button. So, for example, instead of having like 100 buttons on a display that's about 5.5 inches or 5.8 inches if you have the iPhone 10, right? Instead of putting all that there, you would need a stylus and really accurate stylus to get each button. You can kind of make, 4 or 5 main buttons and then take those other buttons, the extra 40 buttons that were on the screen, and put them in those 4 or 5 buttons. So if I would select, something to deal with the nation, put all the buttons that deal with taxation, diplomacy, trade in that button, and then have it pop up as a pop-up on the screen, or make an overlay on the actual map. So it is, I believe, possible. You just have to think a little outside the box. Now, the interesting thing about this post here is that Johan, the head honcho over at Paradox Development Studios and Paradox Interactive, kind of commented here. As you can see here, he's retweeting or replying to another person, Axe99 said. So Axe99 wrote, tablets are just computers with touchscreen interfaces, and it's worth noting Paradox Development games are hardly hardware hogs. I expect most Paradox Development games could in theory run on most modern tablets where they made to run on iOS and Android, and a mouse could be plugged in. The challenge isn't in the hardware in terms of processing, but rather in the UI, because touch is less precise than a mouse. A finger covers more of the screen than a mouse pointer, and you can't see what's under the finger at the point of pressing it. Overcome the UI issues, and I can't see any reason why it wouldn't work. Indeed, overcome the UI issues, and I can't see why you couldn't transfer your game of EU4 CK2 to tablet, take it on the road, then transfer it back to PC and keep playing. And then Johan wrote this. So I'm trying to figure out which part he's kind of, pointing to. So is he pointing to the part where, the finger is less precise than a mouse pointer, which it is. But then he resolves where you can overcome that and overcome the UI issues by kind of like what I mentioned a few minutes ago. And then you would be able to have EU4 and CK2 on the road and then be able to transfer back to PC and then keep playing. So there's still a little bit of a fuzzy haze there in terms of if Paradox games are going to come to the iOS, or Android marketplace. And I would really honestly love to see that happen because, Rome Total War has come to iPad and iPhone. The Feral Interactive is also bringing Tropico 5 to the iPad and probably soon to the iPhone. And a lot of games, especially from Slitherine, are coming to, have come or are coming to iPad and iPhone. So it's really a great market to bring your titles to. And I think Paradox is kind of losing out because they really don't have any major core games there. I mean, they have some side apps here and there, but nothing really. They're more like companions to a game. So honestly, I really hope Johan kind of brings some Paradox, at least maybe just bring one game, maybe like the original Heart to Iron or one of the games that are less, that wouldn't require a lot of work, that could be like a test case. Anyway, so that's what I would love to see, guys. I hope you guys, kind of side with me and kind of urge Paradox to, do this thing, but we'll see in the future. I'll see you guys then.